Hi and welcome to this week's vlog, and we're back. There we go. So sorry we've been quiet the last 3 weeks or so. Very quick explanation without boring you. I managed to slide off a ladder and I've got 9 stitches in my leg, so that slowed me right up. One was halfway through doing the vlog last week, so obviously clearly we won't be showing that one because we didn't finish it. And unfortunately my mother-in-law, don't get really say much personal stuff on here, but my mother-in-law is fighting for her life in intensive care at the moment, 84 years old. So please everyone, keep your fingers crossed for her. So we've had a bit of a rough time. Anyway, moving quickly on to this week's vlog. I have just turned up at a house and I'm going to do a breakdown. It's a new account. I've got no idea what the boiler is. I know nothing about it, but they're just telling me that another company had vented the oil line and been messing around with it, and they can't get the boiler to go. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to get out my van and let's get on with this week's YouTube vlog. So I found the boiler. It's Worcester by the looks of it. I've never been here before. Like I said to you on my intro, another company's been here, vented the oil line, can't get the boiler going. The first thing I notice, if you look, terrible. The boiler's not even on a slab. It just sits here on dirt. Got no terminal guard. Anything that's less than 2 meters in height should have a terminal guard. It's right up against this. It's just horrific. And I've got to get down here like so. So it couldn't have been put in a more silly place really. But there we go. So I've got the front of the boiler. I haven't tried it yet because they've left it in the turned off position up here, look. So let's just, well, see what happens. Okay, so it's going at the moment from the point of view of the pre-purge. We'll just wait to see if it fires. No, right, okay, so you can tell it's not even firing up the boiler, it's just on continuous pre-purge. That's normally a photocell, so I'm just going to go to my van, put one on, and we'll see if that fixes it. If not, we'll go into it a little bit deeper and go from there. So I'll be back. I've taken the cover off the burner like so. You can see it's got a couple of screws there. I've taken the other one out and popped it over. I've just temporarily taken the old cell out the way here, and I've put the new one here, so it just goes onto there like so. Okay, so I'm going to try it again now. So common faults on these that cause these problems, sorry I'll go back a bit, is either a photocell, sometimes it's the control box. If it turns out to be the control box, I change them as a matched pair, not an individual. And then worst case scenario is coil. That's unusual, so we'll just go through the process of elimination. So let's just try the photocell first. Fire it up. Hopefully it'll fire after about 10 seconds if we're lucky. No, so it's not going to be the cell. What I probably reckon is that someone has been pushing that a lot of times when they've been venting the oil line. The other thing that really frustrates me is someone's, let me turn that off, someone's been venting the oil line before they've come here, just left their disgusting oily rags everywhere. You know, this is absolutely oil soaked and it's underneath a tree. Okay, so if that gets into the ground, that tree's dying. Okay, and there's a bit of a mess down the side as well, so that's not very good. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to safe isolate up here like so. Okay, I'm going to undo the 13mm which is down there, pull the burner out, and we're going to change the control box. So I'll be back. So I've got the burner out, here we go here. First thing I've done is taken the coil off, so it's just undo and take it off there. You just switch it over, and obviously we've got all the wires there. Before I do that, we've got a Allen key down there, and an Allen key, I promise you, is down there. I'm just going to undo them and pull the box back, and I'll be back. So that's now loose, as you can see. I'm just going to disconnect out of here the coil. I'm going to disconnect the photocell that I've just done, the motor, and then obviously your main leads in here. I'm just going to disconnect, pull that out the way, and then behind here, you can't quite see it, you can just there, look, you've got 2 HT leads. Okay, it's really important as well that the gasket stays on here, or if it's stuck on this part, you obviously pull it off, because when the new one comes, which is here, it's got another gasket on it already. So I'm just going to swap all that over and put it back together, and I'll be back. Just so you can see, so I've up at the box, there you go, there's your HT leads in there, look, all right, just so you know. Okay, so I'm now going to put it all back together, as I said, and I'll be back. Okay, it's back together. You don't want to see me how to put all that back on because it is very self-explanatory. Let's try it now. This is where it's either going to work or I'm going to look an idiot. Here we go. About 10 to 15 seconds and hopefully, he says, there you go, perfect. All right, so that's just fired in, so that's all it was. So yeah, quite a straightforward fault that. I'll explain it more when I get out of cold weather, when I've cleared up, get rid of that horrible rag, and yeah, I'll see you in the van. That's it, that's this week's YouTube vlog. Give you a special one as it's the first one back for a while. Done from us at Barton All Burner Services, and I hope you enjoyed it. So there we go. Basically, let's go back to the beginning. It was a Worcester Bosch. Terrible installation. It just sits on soil, no terminal guard. It's against bushes, etc, etc. It's not the best, smartest trick in the book, so I've got quite a report to write on this boiler, but there we go. Reference the fault itself. Yes, the guys before had vented the oil line. I guess they'd run out of oil. I've got absolutely no idea. I don't know that side of it, as the customer's not here. But as you see in the video, they left their absolutely oil-soaked towel beside the boiler and a load of rags out the way, up against the bushes. So I'm quite surprised. Well, if that had been left, I would expect a few bushes to die, because it's absolutely, you could literally wring that towel out. So I don't know quite what they've been doing there. Reference to the fault itself, it was just running and not firing. Normally that's a photocell on them, but very occasionally it can turn out to be the control box. Okay, when you're pressing a button a lot of times on the control box, you can end up doing damage anyway. So I suspect potentially maybe they've damaged it. I don't know, I can't comment on that really. If you're changing a control box on a Worcester, especially this one which was an analog, then obviously we always change the cell as a match pair. That's how we do it. For them people that are looking close, you'll probably see earlier in the video, you'll see the control box didn't have a link in it. Okay, on the earlier ones, there was no link, so that would make no difference to the boiler firing and not firing, okay? Just for fun, I stuck the link out of the new one in, and it made absolutely no difference anyway. All right, but the new one did come with a link in it. There's two versions of control boxes on the Worcester. You have the digital, you have the analog. Digitals are rubbish, analogs are a bit better, I suppose. But yeah, on this case, it was the analog, so it was just the box and cell. Never get caught out on these, because the other photocell on these obviously is a digital style cell. They look the same, but you can get confused. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to comment as always, and subscribers, well, we're still getting them and we're loving it, so thanks very much for that. It's gonna be a bright cold weekend. At the moment it is -1 here outside, so it is pretty freaking chilly, but there we go. And have a great weekend everyone. So until next time, stay safe.